Well, this is an uncomfortable exercise in self-exposure of my marketing failings. Like a lot of women in business, I struggle with marketing. I am the smoking doctor, the plumber with the broken toilet, a chef with an empty fridge, someone who tells you what to do but doesn't follow their own advice. That's embarrassing. Why am I telling you this? Because you're likely struggling with a few of the same things that I am, and my fixes might help you too. Even if one or two of my fixes helps you, my embarrassment will be worth it. All the good intentions of my content creator and myself were dashed when the pandemic hit. We'd spent a very long day back in January when we were virus-free and naive, planning 8 months of content. Now we stopped at 8 months because we had content fatigue, but we intended to meet up mid-year to finish off the last few months. That didn't happen either. We started the year with a bang. We had a plan ready, content prepped, and our follow-through was on point. I was armed and prepared, not just for a weekly blog and email, but also growing my YouTube and social media. Then COVID-19 hit. The Profit Lovers content plan was put on hold as I shifted my focus from creating for the Profit Lovers and my clients to supporting my Profit Lovers and clients. I've got zero regrets about abandoning ship. It was the right thing to do. And it made me feel like I was being useful in a time of huge financial and emotional crisis. Sending happy mails full of business tips as a global pandemic kicked off and people were overwhelmed and scared, well, that would have been a bit of a dick move. So now as we move towards businesses, unusual, I guess, I've been reviewing my marketing. All the bad habits I had last year and pretty much every year before that are back in full force. And I can't use this pandemic as an excuse forever. So it's time for me to get back to business. How am I going to fix this? First up, there was a lack of consistency. Inconsistency plagues my marketing. I get all excited, flushed with marketing enthusiasm, but it never lasts long. This feast and famine approach results in floods of content that unfortunately is really short-lived. The fix? My social media is the worst. So to counteract that, in part, my content VA has taken over the creating and scheduling for me. We invested a very small amount in Later, which is a social media scheduling tool, and we actually use it. Next up is not enough ideas. I had marketer's block. That has to be a thing, right? My ideas bank had run dry. It was a desolate wasteland of nothing good, just old, trashed ideas blowing around in a dusty hole of marketing emptiness. I had nothing interesting to say or to share. The reason? I wasn't consuming any interesting content. My mind wasn't really seeking out any new ideas. Now I was consuming a lot of Real Housewives and 90 Day Fiancé, and yes, it's total trash, so feel free to judge my viewing choices. I wasn't consuming a lot of business books or podcasts or YouTube or videos of any real business interest. When you're thirsty, you head to the places where water is, the fridge, the tap, the garden hose. I was thirsty for ideas, but continued to sit in a desert instead of moving myself closer to the source of water. The fix. I am now prioritizing interesting business, finance, and self-development content. I don't consume a lot. I'm not trying to read a book a week or even a month. That was one of my goals at the start of the year. That was, weird and arbitrary. I'm just consuming small, useful chunks regularly. I also designed myself a rough version of an ideas generator. Just a fancy name for a spreadsheet, really, and it's got headings, but it works. Next up was doing too much. Every now and then I get this new passion for marketing. Me and marketing will be super into each other, and I'll want to do all the things at once. I will start hunting down the best courses and experts in Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, all of them, and I will attempt to do it all. Every tip and trick and hack for social media fame. I want all of it. No prizes for guessing the outcome. My passion quickly turned obsession, turned sour, and I get marketing fatigue, I get overwhelmed, I get panicked, and I do nothing. The fix is this year I've decided that I need a strategy to grow the platforms I enjoy the most and have the best skill set for. First up, that's YouTube. I have all the gear. I don't care about getting on camera, and it works for my audience. I'm also growing my Instagram by outsourcing that to my content assistant because I can't do all the things. The next thing is doing stuff with very little or no result. I am always saying to my profit lovers to stop doing the stuff that isn't producing a result. Instead, either figure out how to fix what you're doing or stop doing it altogether. Resultless activity is the enemy of productivity, and I was doing a lot of resultless activity. I had a poorly run free Facebook group for years and I never knew what its purpose was. It started out as a small fun community one year when I ran a spring fling challenge, a challenge to fall back in love with your business. But after that ended, I just didn't do anything with it. People were still joining, but there was no discussion and no real value. I pumped some hours into it a few months ago to see if I could revive it, breathe some life into it, but it was dead and I was happy about it. I want as many profit lovers as possible out of free Facebook groups that serve no purpose. They can be incredibly cynical and sometimes quite nasty. They're often also a massive distraction. I didn't want to be the distraction. I would prefer to channel the energy into my paid groups, where we take action and the members show up for accountability. Free groups can be a wonderful place for quality advice. I know a few that are pumping. The difference is I didn't want to be there and I wasn't interested in learning how to run a free group. Honestly, I just wanted out and I should have closed that group years ago. The fix? It should be quite obvious. We have shut the group down. If you've got a marketing effort, something that is weighing on you and you can't find the purpose, then shut it down. Yes, you may have wasted years of energy like I did, but the only thing worse is wasting another day. Next up, we've got bottlenecking. I'm so good at this. I deserve some kind of Melanie is a bottlenecking expert award or theme song. Firstly, I'm going to practice a little bit of self-love here. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune illness that had slowly and insipidly destroying my health and my energy. I physically and mentally had nothing left at the end of last year. So of course, I was going to be a bottleneck. That aside, I now have regular treatments and medications. I still bottleneck. I hold up my team when they're ready to move forward, so they get frustrated and I end up giving them filler work to do instead of the real work. Sick or not, it is my responsibility to lead the team, and to do that, I need to be working ahead of them. My fix? It's simple. Stop bottlenecking. It really is that simple. I now work 2 weeks ahead of my team and I'm aiming for 4. Once I reach 4, I'll aim for 6. The best thing I did was say, hey guys, we need to stop for a bit because I need to get ahead. And now my job is to stay ahead. The bigger the buffer I build, the more flexibility I'll have because nobody will be waiting on me before they can do their job. If you're the bottleneck in your business, if you stop the work flowing because you're not on top of things, then you're wasting money and possibly sucking the energy from your team. Quality team members won't last long if you're not allowing them to shine in the role that you hired them for. So that is it for the bad stuff. Now a quick review of the good stuff that I'm doing. I do track all my numbers. I know what's going on with web traffic. I know how much each social media platform is sending back to my site. I know how many subscribers I have. I know my conversion rates. My funnels are all working and my offers are selling. I only ever put out now quality content that I'm proud of. I never post or email something just for the sake of it, even if that means sometimes it's dead silence. My Instagram feed is no longer a digital shrine to Office Assistant as it once was, and I'm never afraid to identify, share, and fix areas of my business that maybe aren't as polished as they should be, because no one's perfect. Business is a constantly evolving thing. Being open to learning and listening, accepting you're not always doing the right things, but then celebrating it when you're nailing other areas, that's important. Your business will never be perfect. Mine will never be perfect, but perfection's overrated anyway, right? The most exciting thing to come out of this whole Melanie's Marketing Brain is a Wasteland adventure is creating a solution. My VA is now getting super creative with my marketing ideas generator, and we hope to turn it into something that we can share with you. So make sure you stay tuned for more. If you haven't already downloaded the Profit Lovers Plan and Track so you can record the results of all of your marketing efforts, head on over to theprofitlovers.com/plan and track.